Hello everyone, today we're going to be starting a new reading vlog. I get quite a few new subscribers each time I post my monthly TBR jar videos, so if you are someone that subscribed after watching one of those, then thank you, it's nice to have you here. I haven't introduced myself in a while, but my name is Jamie and I make book videos, which is probably how you found me. But I thought what we'd do over the next week or so is read some of the books that we selected in my July TBR video together, so you can get live reviews of them, and I thought it'd be fun to read them with you. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to read 3 books. This is going to go on for however long that takes. I don't think I'll read them in a week. I'm not that fast. It might take like a week or 2 to get through 3 of them, but I'm really excited to get into them. So we selected 6 books on my July TBR, and they were Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which is her new release. It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan, again another new release. The Memory Collectors by Deep Messerve, which is one that I don't really know a lot about, and I'm quite excited to read that one, so we'll see. When in Rome by Sarah Adams, which is an old favourite for many people, but one I haven't got to yet. Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, one that I've been putting off for quite a while, and I think I'm finally going to get to it this month, so we'll see if we do that one. And then finally, A Man Called Uwe by Frederick Backman, and I actually read that one yesterday, and you would have seen it in the last video that was posted on my channel. You can get my thoughts on that one there, but it won't be selected in today's video. We have 5 to choose from, and I'm going to read 3 of them. I'm just going to kind of mood read and see what I'm in the mood for as we go through the next week or so. But I do know that today, the first one I want to start with is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I feel like I've said this multiple times now, but Malibu Rising has been my favourite read of the year so far. I just love the story, I love the emotion in it, I love the setting. It's historical fiction, but she does so much more with that as well. So it's the first and only book that I've read by Taylor Jenkins Reid, so this will be my second one, and I have a feeling it could probably top Malibu Rising just from what I've heard about it so far. It sounds like it's going to give me everything that I loved from Malibu Rising, just historical fiction, a good character story. There's a bit of romance in this one as well, I think I've heard, so I can't wait to jump into it. So that's the one I'm going to start reading now, and I'll update you when I'm a little bit into it and I know what it's about. I'm at 20% of Atmosphere and I'm loving it already. I feel like if I'm not careful, I could just sit here all day now and just read this book and devour it, but I don't want to do that because I want to spread it out a bit and I want to enjoy it and take it in, but it's just gripped me right away. It gripped me from the first chapter. It gripped me from the author's note actually, like right at the very beginning. Yeah, it's been great so far, but I can't really do that today because I also have a video to edit, so I'm just going to make myself a quick matcha and give you an update on what's happening so far. No spoilers, just how the book's been set up so far, and I thought I'd just make a quick matcha while I do that. I'll have it on screen somewhere so I don't need to hold it up, but oh, it just grips you right at the very start. So we're following Joan. She's an astronomy professor in the 1980s. You can tell that it's still at a time where women are kind of overlooked and can kind of be the butt of the joke, and it's very much a male-led profession going into NASA and becoming an astronaut. But she's an astronomer and she has a love of space and the stars, and when she comes across an advertisement for an opportunity to join NASA's program to become an astronaut, she obviously signs up, and she's one of the lucky few women who gets accepted. So we're just thrown into that and her journey with her, but it's so much more than that, because the first chapter is like adrenaline pumping and you're a few years ahead and you're seeing a mission that doesn't go too well. So you see that right off the offset and you're gripped, you're thrown into the story. And then you go back to the past where you see Joan joining the space program. You see the friends that she's making, you see who she is as a person, like how strong she is, how clever she is. She's just the perfect female main character for a book that's set in the 80s and one that highlights how women are overlooked in certain professions. I'm really enjoying her character and I'm really enjoying getting to see the friendships that she's building in the program and all the different characters. But it looks like it's going to be this flip between present day and this mission that we read about in the first chapter, and then going back to the past and seeing how we got there. Oh yeah, it pulls at your heartstrings a bit already though, it really does, and I'm so invested. I want to get to know these characters and I need to see what happened and their story, but it's going to be a good one. I feel like I just already know that I really like Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing and the way she sets a story up, because you really feel like you're just thrown back to like the 1980s here. And I'm also finding recently as well how much I'm enjoying historical fiction, because the little bits of information that you get in there about things that did actually happen and at NASA, some of the missions that did actually go wrong. I just really enjoy learning about these things through these stories. So yeah, really liking it so far. I haven't made my matcha at all, so let me start making that. I know you're like meant to measure it out and get like a certain amount, but I just put that much. Oh, I put it in the, I don't even put it in that cup. I'm not paying attention. Wait. Oh, I've gone wrong already. So I just put some matcha in this cup and then some cold water. And then whisk it with one of these. Ooh. And then I just pop some ice. I put the matcha in this cup by mistake at first, so yeah, I just pop ice in that one. And then I use this milk at the moment. It's activated almond and oat milk. And I saw Bronte, I don't know her surname, Bronte, on Instagram. You've probably seen her. She's the one who founded the Girls Who brand, but she mentioned this and it's like unsweetened almond and oat milk. So I use this one because I prefer the taste of oat milk in matcha. Give it a shake. And I just fill it up about halfway with the oat milk. Give this an extra little whisk. And then, oh, you missed the pour. And then you just confidently pour it in so it doesn't go everywhere. And that's it. That's how I've been making my matcha. But yeah, so I really want to go back to reading this book, but I do need to do a bit of editing first, which is why I've made the matcha, so it can wake me up a bit while I do. I think I'm going to do like an hour or two of editing, and then I do want to get back to reading, so I'll probably end up doing that. But I do just want to get stuck right back into it. What did I highlight? I've been highlighting some bits so far, so let's see what I've been highlighting so far. I don't like the way the highlights are on the Kindle, I prefer it on the app. Yeah, so the author's note at the beginning where Taylor Jenkins Reid tells you kind of why she chose to write this story, just how like looking up at the stars just makes you realise how kind of insignificant we are and how we're just here for this like one moment in time, and compared to the universe and like the expanse of it, we are just small in comparison to that. I don't want to give any spoilers, like I don't want to actually read what she said, but the author's note really just does grip you straight away. And then, oh, I'm just smiling at these moments with the love interest, because I'm sure this is the love interest. It's still to develop, but the early moments between these two, the romance, and it does say on the front, atmosphere, a love story, and it really is gonna be, because I'm so in love with these two already. Just their initial interactions, so perfect. I just have so many highlights already. Yeah, look at me gushing. I'm 20% in and I've just really fallen in love with the characters and the story, and it has just sucked me right into it. Yeah, so I'm gonna go and do some editing and then I'll catch up with you whenever I pick it up again, which I feel like it's gonna be really soon because I just wanna pick it up now. I'm not sure how I feel about this lighting. The sun's coming up behind you, but I just feel like it's making me dark. I don't know. It's been a couple of days and I did finish Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and it did make me cry. It definitely made me cry. That ending was just so intense and so emotional, and oh, my heart was just beating so fast. It was just so intense. That does mean this is the third book that I've read in a row that has made me cry. So I'm hoping that our next book, which we're going to open in a minute, I'm hoping this is a much more light-hearted summary read that doesn't make me cry, because I've had enough of that, I think, now. But Atmosphere, it is such a good story. At the moment, I think I'm sitting at about a 4.5 stars for it, because I just loved Joan's character and following her story both professionally and personally, and just really how eye-opening it was to get a glimpse of what life would have been like for a woman in the 80s and going through the things that she's going through. It was just a very touching story, a very eye-opening story, and quite heartbreaking at times as well. So I did really enjoy it. I'm gonna put this down because I think that's a bit distracting as well. But I did think there were a couple points of the book that I didn't really connect with as much. Firstly, there are a lot of other characters mentioned that she's going on this journey with, and I just didn't connect them as much throughout the book for them to make an impact on me, and didn't really appreciate who they were or remember who they were a lot of the times. By the end of it, I did fully appreciate their characters, and I think on a reread I would enjoy all their individual stories a lot more, because by the end you definitely get a full understanding of who they are and what their role is within the book. Yeah, they would hit differently on a reread. And then the only other thing I wish we got a little bit more of was just being with them at NASA and doing their training with them. I feel like a lot of the time we were being told what was happening instead of just going along with them and doing the training with them and seeing how it felt for them, like being in that moment almost. I feel like there was just a lot of focus on the characters, which makes so much sense for the story, because Joan's personal story, it carries the whole book and it's what the book's about, and it is an emotional, gripping story. But I would have just liked to be with them a little bit more in NASA at training and a bit more focus around that, because that's what you get in the current day timeline. Like, although it's intense because something's gone wrong at the beginning and you know what's happening and it's intense because of that, I also think it was more enjoyable because you were with them and in that moment and feeling it. I think I could have done with it being longer. Maybe that's it. Maybe if the book was longer, we could have spent a bit more time with them at training and spent a bit more time with the other characters. Maybe that's all I needed from it, because it is quite a short book for the story that it's telling. But I did really enjoy it. So that was Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I gave it 4.5 stars. And then going on to our next book, I mentioned in my last vlog that you might have seen that I want to get more into reading physical books, because I have such an issue with trying to keep my physical books like pristine and nice on my shelves, and I don't really read them, and I just want to get out of that habit. I want to read physical books and enjoy them that way as well. So for the next book, we are going to do that. We're going to read the physical book. It's a summary romance book, so it should be the perfect book to do this with. So yeah, let's open it. I ordered it yesterday, so It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan. This is going to be our next read, but this one we are going to read physically, and it's going to get sun stained. We're not going to be precious with it, we're just going to enjoy it. So in It's a Love Story, I think we're following a childhood actor or someone who had a bit of fame as a child, and now she's like behind the scenes and filmmaking. She's trying to get a project greenlit, but she tells a little white lie and says that she can get like this famous person to make the music for the film or something along those lines, because apparently she has this history with a famous musician. So we follow her and I think another character as they go and try and like get to this famous person and convince him to make the music for this book. I'm not too sure. That's kind of what I think it's about, but when I get about 100 pages in, I'll let you know for sure what the book's about. But we've had a few rainy days here recently, and the sun, as you can see, is out this morning. So before I start work this morning, I'm gonna go outside and clean up all our garden furniture so that when I go on lunch today, I can sit out there in the sun and get started on this. So this should be the perfect summery romance to read during this nice weather that's coming back for us. It's been a couple of days, it's now Saturday, and I think I last filmed when I tried to sit outside in the garden on my lunch break and read this book, and it didn't go so well. It was 28 degrees, but it was roasting. I sat there for like 10 minutes and I was read. The pages of the book have all started like careful. They all started melting and they're just holding on by like the little bit at the bottom now. So a lesson to myself, if I'm going to read the physical books, then don't take them out in the heat. But I don't think I want to sit out in that heat anyway and read because it was just too hot. It was way too hot. But then I did sit out there last night. Me and my boyfriend sat out there. He was watching something on Netflix and I was sitting there in the shade and reading, and it was much nicer. I did manage to get 80 pages in to It's a Love Story. I think it was the perfect book for me to pick up after my last 3 reads, which were A Man Called Uwe, The Nightingale and Atmosphere, which all made me cry, were all emotional reads. This straight away just feels so much more light-hearted, just a really fun summer romance. I'm having a good time with it so far and it's really like perking me back up again. So in this one, I think I mentioned a bit about what was on the blurb. We are following a woman called Jane. She was famous when she was a child because she was in a popular sitcom. When she was in that sitcom, she was like the butt of the joke and she had braces. She was just going through her like awkward stage in life, and that was made to be like the funny thing on the sitcom as well. So she was kind of famous when she was a kid, but not in a way that she would have liked to have been. And now she's an adult. She's still working in the film world. I'm not too sure what her profession actually is, like what her job title is, if she's a film producer or something like that, because she's basically going through scripts and trying to find the one that's going to get greenlit and then make her career and be the thing that makes her make it in Hollywood. So we start off in the meeting with her boss going through the script and kind of pitching the idea. There's someone else in the meeting. His name's Dan and he's like her professional rival, I guess. They do 2 different things, but it looks like he's going to have a sway with the boss on whether this project does go ahead. So Dan's one of the guys in it, and then in this meeting it doesn't start to go well, so she panics and says that she can get this guy who was on the sitcom with her when she was a kid, who she also had her first kiss with, Jack. She says that she'll be able to get him on the soundtrack and do a song for the film, which would obviously be huge because he's someone who's made it. He's a famous musician now. So yeah, she's kind of put her foot in it and she's done it in front of Dan. So a couple more things happen and we've ended up in a situation where Jack is playing a gig in Dan's hometown. Jane is going to go with Dan to his hometown and basically stalk this guy who she had her first kiss with and hasn't seen in 20 years. Yeah, it's quite a fun plot because you've got her with Dan, who's like this professional rival, and is there something more there? They're quite fun to read their interactions. Then the fact that they're just going to go after this guy Jack and try and get him on the soundtrack. A very fun read. It's just exactly what I needed. We're going to be out and about today, but I'm hoping that later tonight we can do the same thing we did last night and sit outside in the warm shade and read, because that was really nice last night and the perfect way to sort of relax on a summer evening. I'll catch up with you when I'm a little bit further into this, but with no more plot spoilers, just letting you know my thoughts. I think the last time I spoke to you, I said that I'd update you as I was reading It's a Love Story. It's a few days later now and I didn't end up doing that. The work week started up again and I just got into my routine and I kept going to bed and reading a bit more each night, and I kept thinking to myself, I need to update you, I need to update you. It just never happened. So all that to say that I've finished It's a Love Story. It was also a really fast-paced read, so that kind of contributed to it as well, because I just kept kept flying through it basically. Every time I picked it up, I just kept getting so much further than I was expecting. My feelings are a bit mixed on it, if I'm honest. I've given it 3.5 stars. Throughout most of the book, I was really enjoying it. I thought it was fun, it was fast paced. I liked the idea of the story and where it was going to Dan's hometown and getting to know his family. All that side of it was just really light-hearted and fun, and it really just grips you into the story, and it's a really good time. But I just felt like I didn't really enjoy our main character Jane, and that wasn't the case throughout all of the book, because at the start of it I actually connected to her quite a bit. It's very clear from the offset that she's quite self-conscious about herself and her personality, and that just felt very relatable for me. But then as the book went on, you just started to see that the things that cause that are just a lot deeper for her personally. So it was the way the story dealt with it, because I just felt like we didn't get enough time going through that with her and properly seeing her overcome the things that happened in her past. And it all kind of felt a bit rushed towards the end. The things that she was doing because of this just made her character unlikable without that other side where you start to appreciate it more and understand that she's working on it and like she's getting through it. I guess there was just quite a difference to the start of the story where it's like fun, fast paced, you're giggling, it feels like a bit of a rom-com, and the end of it really put a dampener on the story for me, which is a shame because it was shaping up to be a really good summer read, and I would still recommend it. I think I might be being a bit too hard on Jane, and if the things that bothered me don't bother you as much, then it's definitely a fun story and it's a good easy summer read if you're looking for one, so don't let this put you off. And I do want to pick up more from Annabelle Monaghan. I have Summer Romance upstairs, and I also want to read Nora Goes Off Script because I've heard a lot of people talking about that one and it sounds good. So it hasn't put me off her books. I know a bit more about the characters that she writes about now, and I think that will help going into her other books. So that was It's a Love Story. And then I wasn't joking when I said it's been a few days and I got a bit carried away because I've also started the third book of this video. I don't know what happened. I just kept reading, and it snowballed. But after finishing It's a Love Story, I didn't want to go into another romance again. So I didn't go for When in Rome or Magnolia Parks. Instead, I picked up The Memory Collectors by Dee Messerve, and I am already 46% through this one. It's just another fast-paced one. That's the issue with these two books as well. They've just been so gripping and fast-paced that I'm just flying through them. I did want to update you yesterday when I was at like 20%, but I read more again last night. It's just a running theme now. But this one is definitely different to It's a Love Story. This is a sci-fi mystery time travel book, and it's very interesting, very different, and I haven't heard anyone else speaking about this yet because it's a new release that I only heard about myself because I saw Kalila D mention it, I think at the start of the year, as one of the new releases that she was interested in, and when she spoke about it I just thought that it sounded really good, and that's why I've picked it up. But it has been a really good gripping story so far. So in The Memory Collectors, we're set a few years in the future where a company has created a machine for time travel. The machine allows people to go back and relive an hour of their past. You don't get to choose which hour of your past you get to go back to, and you also can't change the future when you're there because as soon as you're pulled back to present day, time resets itself and anything that you've said or done just didn't happen and it all resets itself. So we're following a group of people on the day that they're going to go into this machine and travel back in time. They all have something that's brought them here and something that they want to go back for, whether they've lost someone or something's happened to them and they just want to go back in time. That's kind of what the machine allows people to do because you just get to go back and relive an hour of your life and experience it again. But then when your hour's up, you should be pulled back to the future. But what happens with this group of people is they all end up being sent back to the same day when all of their lives were changed forever. So something happened to each of them on this day that's kind of shrouded in mystery and you don't really know what fully happened. You're getting glimpses of it, you're trying to piece it together, but something happened to each of them and they're all linked in some way, which is what I'm starting to see now. You're starting to see how they're all linked and why they've all gone back to that one day. But what's also happened is when they went back and their hour was up, they got stuck there. They weren't pulled back to the future. So they're not just reliving an hour before everything happened that changed their lives. They're having to relive the whole build up to it. And yeah, we also don't know why this is happening. There hasn't been a case previously where someone has stayed in the past for longer than an hour. So why has it happened to these people and why on this day? It's been really good so far and it's very intriguing, it's very gripping, and I am flying through it. It's very fast paced. If you want something that's a bit like of a mystery like this, then it's been very good so far. So I'm currently on my lunch break and have about 20 minutes left. I'm not going to read anything now, but I'm definitely going to be sitting right here when I finish work this afternoon and finishing this book, because I just need to know what happened. I need to know why them, what actually did happen on that day. So many answers to uncover, and I will do that tonight. So I'll catch up with you later this evening. It's a few hours later now and I feel a bit dishevelled and tired, but I did finish The Memory Collectors. I just finished it and it took a bit of a turn. It did take a bit of a turn. I think the beginning of the story is very gripping and very fast paced, and you're switching between multiple characters' point of views, seeing what happened on this day from their perspective and just wanting the answers, just trying to uncover what happened. And then the more you get into it, you start to realise that it's kind of less of a sci-fi mystery and it's more about the characters and their grief, their guilt, their healing and the journey that they're going on, and what going back to the past to this moment means for them. Just going through the emotions with them, and there is still the mystery because you're still uncovering what really happened. Between them, they all don't really know what happened either, so you are figuring that out with them. I think it just took a bit of a turn where it just became more focused on the characters and their story. Going into it, it's not really what I was expecting because I thought it'd be a bit more of like a sci-fi time travel. I guess I did know it was like a mystery about these people and them going back to this specific moment in time, but it was still really good. I think I'm sitting at like a 3.75 for it. I'm gonna put the rating here, so whatever, as I'm editing, whatever I settle on, it will be up here now. But I am thinking 3.75 because it was really good, really fast paced, very different, and it's a very gripping story understanding what happened. I just think if you're gonna read it, then go into it expecting it to be more focused on the characters and going on this journey with each of them. But it is still really good and there is definitely a mystery and something to uncover, and I would recommend it. If it sounds like something you'd like, then I would definitely recommend it. So that was The Memory Collectors by Deep Messerve, and the rating will be on screen now because I'm still not sure. I'm thinking 3.75. We'll see if that changes. But that's it for today's video. It's actually almost 2 weeks after I started this video, so I do think this gives like a more realistic view on how long it takes me to get through my TBR just with going to work and editing videos and doing different things. I think reading 3 books in a 2-week period is pretty typical for me. It was good to show that in a video as well. But I do have 2 more books left on my July TBR. Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I haven't read that one yet and I do want to film a vlog reading that in London, like around different London spots and coffee shops, and I know it's set in London, so I just feel like that would be firstly a really nice video to film, and then also just a nice way to experience the book because I'm not too sure if the plot and the characters are going to be for me with that one. So I feel like maybe if I make the experience a bit nicer, I'll enjoy the book a bit more. Maybe. I'm hoping. And then the last one on my TBR is When in Rome by Sarah Adams, which is the first book in that series. I think I might pick that one up when I go up to bed now, so I will finish that one by the end of the month. It's only the 18th of July, so I've still got plenty of... I've done really well with my July TBR. It's turned out to be a really good reading month. So I'm going to leave it here for today's video. I hope you enjoyed reading my July TBR with me. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.